Well, a very good afternoon and welcome to round 9 of the Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup here in Motegi. As you can see, we are starting a little bit later than we were supposed to. A few delays because of an incident during the Motegi free practice 4. Well, as you can see from the conditions there, it's not like it was yesterday, nor was it like in qualifying this morning for all the riders. It is a little bit cooler. It's quite a bit more humid, so the riders will have to watch out for the track conditions there. But it's certainly set to be an exciting race. It has been shortened to 10 laps because of this delay, also because it does get rather dark here quite quickly. Now, my name's Dylan Gray, alongside me, Matthew Burt and Matt. You know, the guys there on the grid now. They've already done their sighting lap. It would have been very, very important for them just to check these conditions, because when they qualified, it was 8:15 this morning.
Yeah, as you say, Dylan, quite rightly. Yeah, completely contrasting conditions for this 20 rider field about to start what was initially a 15-minute race, but of course a revised schedule after some disruption in one of the earlier MotoGP sessions. And we're about to get a look at potentially some MotoGP stars of the future. There is the man, well, I say man, I mean the teenager, the Japanese rider.
Young man,
yes, the young
say,
man, yeah, Ayumu Sasaki, who does lead this Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup. He's got 136 points, a fairly nice 29-point cushion over his closest rival, Takuma Kanimine. In fact, it's been a fairly Japanese-dominated affair, this second running of the Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup, with Kazuki Masaki in third in the rankings.
Yeah, certainly third in the rankings. But on the grid, we do have Andy Dehart up there. He's currently sat 6th in the championship. And let's just say, you know, whilst they do their final sighting lap before the start, you know, in terms of qualifying, Sasaki did beat the record that Yuta Date set last year. However, overall, their mentor, Alberto Puig, I think he was hoping for a little bit, slightly better performance, because we only had 4 guys down in the 2:02s, and it really was Sasaki, Kunimine, and Dehart that were very, in the low 2:02s, and then we had Rostam, the final one with the 2:02.879. The rest a little bit slower. However, of course, they've got to repeat this over race distance. That is a completely different game altogether.
Yeah, Ayumu Sasaki there, the number 22. He has been dominant throughout this weekend here at the Twin Ring Motegi. He was quickest in all the practice sessions, and as Dylan said, it was closer in a pretty tense qualifying session run earlier on today. He took pole position by just 0.06 of a second ahead of Takuma Kanimine. Of course, Kanimine, he's had 1 victory so far this season. That was a race that we did together, seemed like a long time ago now, in Qatar, the opening round.
Yes, yeah.
At the Losail International Circuit. But yeah, 29 points. He trails Sasaki with 2 rounds of the championship remaining. 4 races here. 2 here in the Twin Ring Motegi, and of course the Shell Advance, the 2015 Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup reaches its conclusion in 2 weeks' time when we're at the Malaysian Grand Prix in Spain. Just to give you a quick idea of the conditions, and you've been down in pit lane all afternoon, it gets dark really quickly here in Japan, and you can see, look, there's floodlights now lighting up the paddock, so it's got pretty dark pretty quick.
It's dark, misty, it's humid. I mean, you know, even the MotoGP riders spoke about the different kind of feel. And here we just get a look at the championship standings. So Sasaki leads by 29 points from Kunimine. So Sasaki could essentially take the title this weekend, not if he leads into the next Malaysian round by a full 50 points. So it can't happen in race 1, but it could potentially happen tomorrow afternoon, where conditions are actually set to be even worse from if we are to believe the weather forecast. But for now, let's just focus on what we have here. It is a dry track, and it is a 10-lap sprint.
Yeah, Sasaki, you do feel, will be the big pre-race favourite. 2 second places he had at the opening round in Thailand, a couple of podiums again in Qatar round 2. He won the opening round of the first shootout in Malaysia in the summer as part of the World Superbike Support Programme. His only non-finish actually was in race 2 in Malaysia. Otherwise, he might have had a chance in this race to be wrapping up at the Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup Series. He won again in the first race at the Zhuhai International Circuit in China last time out. So here we go, 10-lap race.
Yeah, the red flags go away, the lights go on as they go out. What is Sasaki going to do from pole? Looks like a good getaway there from the number 22, but actually it's the number 21 alongside him, Kunimine. He looks to be leading first into this tight turn number 1.
Yeah, number 9 there, Aguru, the 14-year-old Japanese rider. Aguru had a breakthrough weekend last time out in China. 2 podium finishes, including a win at the Zhuhai International Circuit. It's a number 21, Takuma Kinimine, second place man in the championship, under pressure already from Sasaki, and it's now Aguru who takes the lead back. There's had 3 changes of lead in the first 3 corners in this race.
Yeah, very aggressive from the start, and we've just seen someone run off track in the background there. We couldn't quite see who that was. But yeah, aggressive start, as you say, lots and lots of passing opportunities at this track here. Aguru leads round into turn number 5 ahead of Sasaki and Kunimine.
Yeah, he's one of the youngest riders in this 20-rider field, is Aguru, the Japanese rider. He's only 14 years of age. Only Yusai Yamanaka is younger on the number 12 bike, the 13-year-old. Sasaki then
round the outside into
Brave.
turn number 6. That was a Jorge Lorenzo 2010 move there. And this is the number 2 machine of Masaki.
Cool, that's bad news for Masaki because he's in 3rd place in the championship. A very slim chance of capturing this Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup. But Masaki, runner-up in the 2nd race in China a couple of weeks ago. So Masaki, who was 44 points behind Sasaki in the championship, that's a real body blow for Masaki's championship challenge.
And one person we haven't mentioned in 4th place, is Dehart. He's one of those riders where from the practices and the people inside, working inside the Talent Cup, they believe he is also someone who could be a big threat for this race. As the number 9 of Aguru had a little look up the inside into this turn number 11. I'm sure we'll see a bit of passing there in laps to come.
Yeah, his best weekend of the season, Andy Isdar, was at round 2 in Qatar. He qualified on the front row of the grid and then won the 2nd race. He's 6th place in the standings. We're about to complete the first lap of race 1 here at the Twin Ring Motegi. The floodlights glinting off the screens, and it's Sasaki that leads the way by less than a tenth ahead of Aguru. Aguru on the number 9, aggressive on the brakes into the first corner. Sasaki holds firm.
Yeah, he holds firm. Very different lines into there. Sasaki with that much more momentum around, but behind them, the riders are holding firm. In 5th place, we see the number 17 of Rostam. Also, you know, those guys look to be biding their time. And you know what? These 3 fighting at the front is just going to play into their hands.
Yeah, Fakhruzi Rostam, the Malaysian, of course, a big weekend coming up for him in Sepang in a couple of weeks' time. But it's Aguru who's now back at the front. It's a great fight between the 2 Japanese riders. Sasaki again holds firm. He's really good under pressure on the brakes, is Sasaki. That's down into turn number 5.
Yeah, are we going to get anything else around the outside into turn 6? No, they are a little bit more spread out than they were before. Obviously, that is going to be one of the keys at this track. We're not seeing an awful lot of slipstreaming out of the turns. It's more passing under the brakes, but even so, is this group of 3 going to try and break away? Are the guys behind them going to let them as they come into this turn? Number 9 up the inside. Ooh, that was Aguru having a little look, but didn't quite manage it.
Masaki, the number 2, we saw crash out early on in the race on the very first lap. He has got back in this shortened 10-lap race. It is still the number 22, Ayumu Sasaki, that leads the way from Aguru. As we said, double podium finish for him last time out in China. Aguru, not a championship contender. That fantastic weekend at the Zhuhai International Circuit did move him up into 7th place in the championship. The battle for the championship was all about number 22 there in the braking zone down to turn 11, Sasaki, and the man in 3rd place, Takuma Kinimine. They are the 1-2 in the leaderboard.
Yeah, certainly they are separated by those 29 points, as we said. So certainly number 9, Aguru, he can mix things up quite a bit. But of course, these the guys chasing them is Dehart. They are certainly, and Rostam, they could mess things up quite a bit for them. If we look a little bit behind them, we have Jerry Salim there as well. He's in 7th place right now. Yuta Date as well. So you know, those guys all holding on. We're not seeing much of a separation down to number 12, Yamanaka.
Yeah, Yuta Date, keep an eye on him on the number 6. He's in 7th place at the end of that 2nd lap. He just did set the best lap of the race, a 2:03.763. He's got good pedigree in this Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup, has Date. He was, well, he was runner-up in 2014.
Yeah.
He took 2 wins and 4 podiums, race winner in Qatar and in Zhuhai. He's also cutting his teeth in the Junior World Championship in Europe, is Dehart, and he's had 4-point scoring finishes in that Junior World Championship, part of that CV Repsol series, the best of 10th in Albacete, so good to see him spreading his wings and gaining some experience in Europe.
And got a podium in last time out in China in the first race. That was his first podium of the series. So yeah, like you said, Matt, that experience that he's gaining in that series certainly coming through. Oh,
there's a collision there.
That was contact, the number 6, but that was Yuta Date. We were just talking about him. I can't see who did he make contact with.
Well, the marshals are standing firm. There's obviously they didn't go down. It looked at one point like there was no way they'd be able to save it.
Yeah. Good save from whoever he ran into.
Yuta Date is, it was Date, Dylan. Yeah, you're quite right, because we're looking at the riders come through this third split up the inside, turn number.
Well, he's dropped off. He's dropping all the way down.
Yeah, he had to run off.
18th place.
Yeah, big mistake there by Yuta Date. No room on the inside for the number 6. He was in 7th. He just set the best lap of the race. As Aguru has a look at the inside again.
It might have been Norodin, because Norodin has also dropped down the order a little bit.
Yeah, Date just trying to go for a gap that wasn't really there. Norodin quite within his rights to close the door, and that's cost them both pretty dearly in that fight for the podium. Sasaki then still leads the way. Kunimine now has made his way up into 2nd place by Agura. Then it's Andy Dehart, Salim, and then Fuse in 6th place.
Yeah, Jerry Salim just there in 5th, holding on. So we're starting to see a little bit of separation there.
Yeah, that top
up
5.
Up the inside from Agora into turn number 3. A lot tighter than it looks, Matt.
Yeah, that top 5, as you say, then just beginning to make a little bit of a break at the front. They've come through the first sector. The gap between Salim in 5th and Fuse in 6th, it's up to almost a 2nd.
And then at number 13, Atirat Puvapat. We have not seen an awful lot of him so far in this race. He just made his way past into the tunnel there. That should, I think he went past Rostam and Fuzli, and here we get the current state of the championship. If the race was to finish now, this is what it would be like. Sasaki leading Kunimine by 38 points. But I think, as we said that, Kunimine just made his way past.
Yeah, Kunimine trying to keep this championship alive ahead of the final round at the Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia in a couple of weeks' time. That's the number 15, Fuse, trying to, well, they've closed up a little bit, haven't they? They're concertinaed as they come down now into turn number 10 to start the long drag, the slipstream shootout down the back straight. There is the Thai rider, Nakarin Atirat Puvapat. He's in 8th place at the moment. He's moved up a couple of spots into 6th.
And look at that, Masaki had rejoined the race. This was the earlier crash that we saw down into turn number 3. He is a lap down, but you know what? Their mentor, Alberto Bridge, will want these guys to be out on track. You know, he knows that there might be some kind of collision, some kind of pile-up, and he needs to be in there just to, even if he can collect some kind of points, because he is still, at the moment, in 3rd in the World Championship standings.
Well, it looks like number 21, Kunimine, won that drag race down the back straight, because Kunimine is going to start this lap number 5 in the lead in this race. Kunimine with the best lap of the race, a 2:03.544, but that's been bettered by Atirat Puvapat. He did a 2:03.223, so 0.3 of a second clear of Kunimine. Sasaki is almost, they're still holding 2nd place. A Guru desperately trying to hang on to 3rd. He's coming under real pressure from Dehart.
Yeah, Dehart, real pressure there for 3rd. They always thought he was going to be a threat behind him, Jerry Salim, and here we're going to see. I think this is where we're going to see Kunimine.
Yeah, he'd slipstreamed him on the back straight, then and got it ahead on the brakes to lead this race for the first time at the end of that 4th lap. Sasaki now exactly 1/10 behind. Well, Sasaki's back in the lead. It's chopping and changing.
And we just and look, Agura back into 2nd place now. Back into 2nd place, so this is he's making it really tough for Kunimine, and ultimately needs this win an awful lot more than Sasaki does. Sasaki just needs to hold his nerve.
Yeah, and they can't shake off. They've tried to a couple of times shake off Salim, the number 4, and then number 13, Atirat Puvapat, and Rostam. Those 3 desperately trying to make this an 8-rider fight for the podium. 5.5 laps to go here at the Twin Ring Motegi. the sun setting, the floodlights on, lighting up the paddock here. It's getting really dark.
Almost like
there.
the Suzuka 8 hours we were talking, weren't we? But of course, this is just the Motegi 10-lap shootout. But nonetheless, fantastic job from them down to the number 17 there. We see him, Rostam, down into this turn, this hard braking point, number 11, and once again the number 21 Kunimine. He's looking so strong under those brakes there, Matt. I mean, and he's certainly going to be practicing this for that final lap.
Yeah, he's well placed. He gets himself well placed coming out of turn number 10 onto the back straight, and then he uses the slipstream to perfection coming down that back straight. So Kunimine, he did lose the lead on that 5th lap to Sasaki, but he will cross the line to start lap number 6 at the head of the field. Fastest lap of the race coming in from the number 4, Jerry Salim, the Indonesian. That's a 2:03.050. Salim, half a second quicker than Kunimine. That's the 4 for number 12. That's Yamanaka. He is he's the youngest rider in this field. A couple of riders down there.
Yeah, number 15, Kaito Fuse, and it looked like Yamanaka was pretty upset with something. Looks like we're about to get a replay of the incident. Oh no!
Well, that is
a horrible crash. That is nasty. That is good to see those two moving. Obviously, that was not a collision. That was just Fuse making a mistake, a bit of a high side, and ultimately Yamanaka just having to run into him.
Yeah, that was a big crash for Yamanaki, the 13-year-old. Glad to see both of them up on their feet after that nasty spill at turn number 13, the victory corner. Won't be victory corner for those two. Kunimine still holding firm at the front of this race. Kunimine, well, we've seen Kunimine, Aguro and Sasaki take the lead at the front. We've not seen anything from Salim or Dehart or Atirat Puvapat yet, as yet, Dylan.
Very patient. I mean, we just saw Salim stab it up the inside there of turn number 7. So he certainly, Sasaki stab it up the inside of turn number 7. So he certainly does not want to give this lead away easily as they come into this tight hairpin. Right, it doesn't look that tight with those small books, but I guarantee you that it is. Now, this is number 21 Kunimine leading down this home straight. He had been using the slipstream very well. Strong braking. What can Sasaki do now?
Yeah, Kunimine, 1 victory this year. That was in the opening round of the doubleheader at the Lusail International Circuit in Qatar, way back at the opening round of the MotoGP World Championship at the end of March. So nobody was able to give Kunimine a taste of his own medicine down that back straight. He's managed to hold off the slipstream, the charge behind him. It's what, an 8-9 rider battle for the podium. What about Sasaki? He gets a great drive out of that final corner, putting real pressure now on Kunimine. 4 laps to go. Personal best lap of the race from Sasaki. He's down to a 2:03.442. They can't shake off Aguro. Dehart's looked pretty menacing in 4th place for some time now. The 23-year-old just happy to bide his time there, Dylan.
No, very much so. And this was a great example coming down that main straight, that if you lead out of that corner, you can take the win. So it's not possible to slipstream before you cross the finish line. That's something which Sasaki will have noted. That's something that Kunimine would have noted as well. Very important. But yeah, as you say, Matt, down to 17th place, down to Rostam. They could all be on the podium. You remember in Qatar when we were both commentating, you know, such a melee just going into that final corner. The results, they can chop and change so quickly in this class. So you imagine that Sasaki and Kunimine will try and pull some kind of lead.
Yeah, of course, this Shell Advanced Asia Talent Cup, a great initiative designed to unearth young talent of the future in the Asia-Pacific region. 2nd year for the championship. There is Kunimine. Well, he's lost the lead there. It does look like he might have made a bit of a mistake as he ran through turn number 6. So Sasaki now back at the front, looking to take out crucial points on Kunimine in the championship battle. Crucial, of course, with Kazuki Masaki in 3rd place in the standings, crashing out early on in this race. Masaki is still 1 lap down in 18th.
And also, we just had Adam Noureddin join the party. He was a little bit behind, but you can just see him, that number 10 machine, just clinging onto the back of that group. It just shows, look at that, number 9 outside Aguro. Textbook passing past Sasaki into that into that turn number 11. Kunimine would have been paying good attention to that. That's essentially what could happen to you. We've seen this in the Moto3 class so many times. Well, almost every single year, this is how the race is decided.
Well, if anybody's coming into this short and 10-lap race full of confidence, it is Ai Aguru, the Japanese rider that leads the way at the end of lap 7. As you said, Dylan, keep an eye on number 10, Adam Norradine. He's just set the fastest lap of the race. The first rider into the 2:02s, a 2:02.854. He took great advantage of that slipstream. So this is now a 9-rider battle. Anwar is in 9th, but he's 8 seconds back of Norradine there.
And actually, the way this stands at the moment with Agura at the front, he's actually doing Sasaki a little bit of a favour in terms of the championship standings, because he's taken even more points away from Kunimine. But, of course, Sasaki is going to want to go out with a win, because that's going to make it that much more probable for him to take that title tomorrow. And that is why he has gotten past him on that turn number 5, leading into the tunnel. But can he keep? No, he's taken it a little bit wide, and Agura up on the inside. Fantastic racing there from those young Asian talents.
Yeah, that fastest lap of the race from Norradine there, who's on the move now. He's picked up a couple of places on this 8th lap. That's 0.3 of a second quicker than Norradine, the Malaysian, managed in qualifying when he started the race in 8th. He has picked his way through on Dehart.
And sorry, we've just had Jerry Salim join the group there. He's just gone up into third place. Jerry Salim now in 3rd. He's actually gotten past Kunimine. So Kunimine, you just see the number 20, the number 21 bike just behind him there. So yeah, 3 laps to go. The guys behind, like Salim, they would have been conserving their tyres a lot more than the guys battling at the front.
I'm not a betting man. It's a good job, Dylan, because I'm not quite sure who my money would be on as they power down the back straight.
Well, if it's like this, I'm going to go with Agura, because his lighter frame, he is a really small guy. He can make use of that slipstream very well, and is then also very good under braking.
Yeah, he's a proper pocket rocket, is Aguru. He's, as we said, he was coming into this race in great confidence out of nowhere. He was second in the opening round last time out in China before he took a first ever victory. Before that, his previous best had been a 6th place at the opening race in Sepang, and that was the first time he'd been inside the top 6, but he does lead the way on the penultimate lap here at the Twin Ring Motegi. Aguru from Sasaki, from Salim, the number 4. Kunimine has dropped back to 4th place on the number 21. Norradine, Atirat Puvapat, that's your top 6.
And Norradine almost half a second faster than all the other guys, and he's currently in 5th place. He's been so patient, biding his time. But the number 13, Atirat Puvapat, up the inside in turn number 3, round that turn, that fast turn number 4.
Yeah, Kunimine is getting really beaten up here in these last couple of laps. The number 21, he was the race leader early on, the man who's 2nd place in the championship standings at the moment. He's been pushed back down into 5th. And with Ayuma Sasaki, the series leader, right in contention for the win with Ai Aguru. This could be big news for Sasaki's championship challenge.
No, certainly Sasaki will know this. He will know, right, with this kind of result tomorrow, I could win the championship with another race similar to this one. But of course, we have 2 laps to go, and based on the last 2 laps, Matt, these positions can be reversed in the next couple of corners.
Oh, that's aggressive by Aguru. Can he pull it up on the brakes? He can't. He just runs a little bit wide. It was a really tough move up the inside of Sasaki down into turn number 9. Oh, big moment there for number 4.
That's Jerry Salim. That's Salim. He'd fought his way up from quite far back in that group.
He nearly lost it there.
Yeah.
He almost torpedoed into the back of Aguru. He did a great job there, actually, Salim. He was doing a rolling stoppie going down on the brakes into turn number 10. Has that cost Salim the chance to get on the podium for the first time, believe it or not, since the opening round of the championship in Thailand?
Well, it certainly helped Kunimine a bit, because he needs to get back up this field, because right now it is all about Agura versus Sasaki. Kunimine was down in 5th place after that, after the 3rd sector, and he's now up to 4th. He's managed to get past Norradine, but let's take a look at the lap times now. Yeah, Kunimine is about 3/10 slower than almost everyone else in that group.
Sasaki back up the inside with a brilliant move on the brakes down into turn 1. The championship leader, Ayumi Sasaki, 15 years of age from Japan. Of course, he's well known to European fans as well. He's doing well, he was third actually in the Red Bull Rookies Cup this year with 5 podium finishes, including a brilliant debut victory in the Red Bull Rookies Cup. That was in the rain at Silverstone. Aguru now fighting back. We're on the last lap. We're halfway around this final 2.983 mile lap of the twin ring Motegi. It's Aguru looking for a second successive win, a third straight podium for the young Japanese rider. He's under pressure from Sasaki, also from number 10. That's Norodin.
Yeah, Norodin, absolutely amazing job. Just 2 laps ago, he was sat in around 10th place, but look at this melee. Look at the amount of riders. They have Atirat Puvapat just behind him in 4th place, and I think that was up the inside there. That was Dehart also trying to make a move. And look at that, the number 4, Salim, who went wide earlier, is already back up into 6th place. Atirat Puvapat into 3rd with an aggressive move.
It's all going to be decided by this long drag. Aguru, Sasaki has a good look over his shoulder at Aguru. Aguru up the inside at turn number 10. Is that a brave move to lead down this long back straight, because he's leaving himself susceptible to attack on the slipstream? It's all going to be now about this horsepower drag race down to turn number 11. Who's going to be the strongest on the brakes? Aguru tries to hug the outside of the track and try not to give anybody the chance of a slipstream. He's got the inside line, Aguru.
Yep, Sasaki looks, can he take it up the inside? But Aguru, no, he holds it on the brakes. Does he run wide? No,
he does.
He does.
Sasaki's up the inside. That's brave through turn number 12. Ayumu Sasaki, the championship leader, is going to take the win here. He's broken the challenge of number 9, Aguru. Ayumu Sasaki's going to take the victory here in Motegi.
And Jerry Salim in 3rd. What an amazing fight back from number 4 rider after that mistake on the penultimate lap.
What a brilliant performance there by Ayumu Sasaki. That's why he's the man in control of this championship. Here is the number 20. Azroy Anwar, the Malaysian, he crosses the line in 9th place. He's 12 seconds back of that podium battle. Helmi Azman completes the top 10. Yuta Dehart, disappointment for him. He was running in that lead group at the start of the race before he made a mistake down at the brakes at turn number 5. Yeah, he recovered to finish inside, 11th.
Yeah, and then after Date's Fukushima Zhu Kairodin, that's the younger brother of Zulfami Kairodin from the championship, Chen, and then Srimontree.
I'll tell you what, when Aguru held the field off coming down in the braking zone for turn number 11, he must have thought, right, I've got this win now in the bag, and he just, because he ran in too hot to turn 11, it broke his momentum coming through 12, didn't it, Dylan?
And too far on the inside, I think. He didn't go out wide enough to carry that momentum around. But do you know what? The guy is so young, and he almost won this race. I mean, that experience is, you know, maybe one day, like you say, he will be in MotoGP. He will be thinking back to this race if he comes back again and say, do you know what? I did that wrong when I was very young. And here we see the number 2 bike, Masaki. He was 3rd in the championship, crashed in that first lap. But you know what? At least he's fought back and he's finished this race.
Well, it was a crucial last lap for Sasaki, because there he is, the number 22 winner for the 3rd time this season in the Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup. And with Kanimine, his closest title rival, slipping back down to 6th after he led the race in the early stages. What it means, it's a real big boost for the number 22 there, Sasaki.
Yeah, certainly. In terms of the points difference, it's now 44 points. So tomorrow he essentially needs to beat him by just 7 points, and then he definitely has that title in the bag.
Yeah, and that being Japanese, he would love to win it, of course, in front of his home crowd.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Motegi, have it all wrapped up in the bag before we head off to the final round of the championship at the Sepang circuit in Malaysia. What a performance there as well by the Indonesian rider Jerry Salim at 5th place. Well, 5th in the championship standings he was before that race, but he's moved ahead of Masaki now. Masaki started that 10-lap race 3rd in the championship, but that big mistake in the early part of the race dropped him back to 18th, and that's cost him a couple of places in the championship, because he's now behind Atirat Puvapat and Salim.
Yeah, so here are the final results of race 1 here in Motegi. It was Sasaki ahead of Aguru, then Salim. Great recovery after an early mistake. Norodin, Atirat Puvapat, Kunimine, he will be just disappointed down in 6th. Dehart, then Rostam, and then in 9th, also a great ride from Anwar.
The top 10 completed by Helmi Azman, a mistake by Yuta Dehart. That cost him a podium challenge. He finished in 11th, ahead of Fukushima, Zhao in 13th, Kairodin and Wanhang Chen, the Chinese rider, they completed the point-scoring places.
And then, unfortunately, Fusei and Yamanaka crashed it. Well, due to Yamanaka high-siding, Fusei was then taken out. Sorry, no, the other way around. So very, very unfortunate for those guys not to finish the race. And here we see Jerry Salim in Parc Ferme. He's well, he's probably going to be one of the more happy ones, because I think on the penultimate lap he thought, no, this race is now over for me. I mean, you know, almost taking out one of the others.
Yeah, first a podium for him since round one, when he was third in Thailand, and it's given himself a great chance of finishing third place, or even second place actually in the championship standing. Salim, he's what, 23 points now behind Kinimane in second, just 6 points behind Atarat Puvapat in third.
Here we get a glimpse of Sasaki, the winner. He's now won 3 races this season, had 3 second places, 1 third place, and now 3 victories in total. A very, they say there's quite an experienced head on those young shoulders.
And great to see there as well, the Dorna CEO, Carmelo Espeleta, of course, a real champion of trying to find young riders from growing markets around the world. Of course, Dorna supporting this Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup to unearth stars of the future in the Asia Pacific region. And it looks like with Sasaki and Ayaguru, we might have a couple of certainly new stars emerging from Japan. Well, there's one man who knows what it takes to get all the way to the top. Of
yes.
course, former 250cc world champion Hiroshi Ayama.
And I think that was Ayama just explaining to him what he should have done going into turn number 11. So it should have gone wider, should have gone wider. But you know what, you know.
Well, he's young, he'll learn.
Yes,
and when
exactly.
you're getting advice from those two men in Parc Ferme now, you can just see Alberto Puig and Hiroshi Ayama. What a brilliant boost for these young riders in this Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup. Vast experience, of course, from Alberto Puig. Let's not forget, Alberto Puig, he helped unearth the likes of Danny Pedrosa and Casey Stoner.
Yes.
This was the crucial winning move then by Ayuma Sasaki. That helped him win for the 3rd time this season. Agura just losing momentum as he came through that turn number 12 up the inside, left the door wide open, you have to say, for Sasaki. No second invitation needed for the number 22, the 15-year-old. And
I'm just seeing Salim actually made his move coming out of turn number 13. We didn't catch that at the time, but looking in the background, the number 4 bike on Atarat Puvapat, also very, very brave move up there.
Ooh, number 13, that was Atarat Puvapat getting a little bit out of shape on the curb as he came out the final corner. But there he is, he knows what that means in terms of the championship battle, Ayuma Sasaki.
Yeah, I think Ogura a little bit frustrated when he crossed the finish line. He thought he had that win in the bag, but you know, when you're that young, of course you're going to feel an awful lot of frustration, even though it was a fantastic performance by the youngster.
Well, you can just see how dark it is here at the Twin Rim Motegi at the moment. Crucially, in terms of the Rider Championship, a big, big step towards taking the Shell Advance Asia Talent Cup in 2015. Ayuma Sasaki, 44 points clear now of his closest rival, Takuma Kinimane. Atarat Puvapat and Jerry Salim move up 1 place after that mistake by Kazuki Masaki. His championship challenge, you have to think, is over now.
No, certainly we look a little bit further down the grid. We have a couple of movers. Asman went up, Anua up a couple. Then we have obviously Fusei Yamanaka down a place after that crash. Chantra also down, and Sri Montri, he finished in 16th place.
Yeah, the Chinese rider Zhao there moving up a couple of spots, courtesy of a 13th place finish for the Chinese rider.
Yeah, and then we have, I think, rounding things out, Fukushima, who finished in 16th place. Lachlan Taylor and Luth Irwin not in the championship anymore, but obviously still counted in the standings because they have taken part in certain races this season. But you've got to say it is all about Sasaki now. It's in a way it's his to lose. Kunimine is going to have to pull something very special out of the bag tomorrow if he is to stop Sasaki from taking the title in his home country.
Yeah, my maths is pretty rubbish, but Sasaki's got to score 6 more points, hasn't he, than Kinimane in the race tomorrow? Yeah,
correct. I said 7, but of course Sasaki has more wins, so even if they were tied, Sasaki would still win that title. Getting ready for the presentation of the trophies on the podium. So this will be our first podium here this weekend. Obviously tomorrow these guys will be after MotoGP.
Yeah, we've seen one world champion crowned in Grand Prix this weekend with Johan Zarco taking the Moto2 World Championship. Are we potentially looking at the stars of the future? Sasaki and Aguru, they look like they've got some real talent. There's the man in third place, though, number 4, Jerry Salim. He left his attack late, but you could say timed it to perfection. Well, he was the quickest of the top 8 on that final lap. But there he is, the race winner, Ayumi Sasaki, on the top step of the podium for the 3rd time. First of many trophies, I'm sure, being presented to these top 3 riders. And as we said, don't rule out that man there on the right-hand side of your picture, Jerry Salim, put himself right in contention for that 3rd place in the championship, 6 points behind Atarat Puvapat and 23 behind Kinimine.
Well, certainly if Kunimine has a few more races like he did today, Atarat Puvapat and Salim, would certainly be very, very confident that they could at least slip up into 2nd or 3rd place. But for anyone to catch Sasaki, I think mathematically, obviously it is still possible, but based on Sasaki's form would be very, very difficult.
And there he is, a thoroughly deserved winner's trophy for the 3rd time this year for the 15-year-old Japanese rider Ayumi Sasaki. Ayumi Sasaki, are we sure he's only 15? He looks a lot younger than that, doesn't he?
Well, the people in the championship who actually run it, they do say, he's quite clever for his age. He's quite mature, and they say that that you can tell really comes across on the racetrack.
As you can see there at the top and left-hand side of your screen. Join us again tomorrow for round 2 here at the Twin Ring Motegi. The race getting underway at 3:45 p.m. local time, run over 15 laps.
Yep, the forecast is wet, so we might have some very, very different kind of racing tomorrow.
Sasaki won't mind that, will he? He won, of course, that Red Bull Rookies Cup in the rain at Silverstone.
Yeah, and this was the start, so it wasn't necessarily the best getaway from Sasaki. It was actually the number 21 of Kunimine who went into that first turn first, but it didn't last very long.
Kunimine and Sasaki, the 2 main championship challengers, battling it out for the early lead.
Yeah, it was an early crash there for Masaki, but he did manage to rejoin and finished last.
That was championship challenge over for Masaki.
Yeah. Yuta Date there running off track after going in a little bit too hot. He also managed to rejoin and finish down in 11th place. Ogura there, the number 9 bike, one of the hard chargers throughout, but unfortunate crash coming out of the final turn. It was Fusei high-sided and then Yamanaka running into him, both ending their challenge prematurely. Ogura leading for a few laps towards the end. He looked like he might be the man to win those drags down that start finish, but he always had Sasaki with him, even on this on the final lap. The number 4 bike of Jerry Salim behind them there, but that was before Salim actually made a little costly mistake before he actually dropped down the order.
Yeah, that was a brave move by Agura up the inside at turn number 9. And this was the crucial moment of the race. Aguma took the lead at turn number 10 on the final lap. And as he tried to defend in the slipstream down to turn number 11, he lost momentum through turn number 12. Sasaki sweeps through to take a precious victory in terms of the championship.
Yeah, it's Jerry Salim also making a hard move on Achirat Puvapad in that final corner. Achirat Puvapad doing well to hold on as he almost loses the rear end. Win number 3 of the season for Sasaki. He leads the World Championship and he could win it tomorrow if he beats Kunimine by 6 points.